It's amazing. I think there's a partial sporadic look of the ICE agents coming to an area and trying to maybe, rope up some people. I think there might be that assumption out there, but I do think they are running like targeted assignments going into certain places to get certain people.
Getting the bad guys, no one has a problem with that. But when you get one person that is completely innocent and nothing that they did was wrong at all, it's too many.
If we get all this information on the Maduro, around ICE, there's got to be something else that's going to come up. But there is something else. There's an underlying thing that's happening.
Isn't it always money?
It's always around money.
It's oil. There's nothing negative that can come through with questioning everything. It doesn't mean you have to resist everything, but you can question it and then understand that the conclusion that you came to makes sense for the reasons that were laid out in front of you.
NFL football's been pretty crazy this year.
That it has.
Yes, it has. The Steelers won, and the answer that their head coach gave in the press conference was pretty crazy. Did you hear it?
I did not hear what Tomlin said. He's known for a good weird quote every now and then.
Yeah, check it out. I guess we're in the playoffs now.
We're in the playoffs now, but week 18 is whenever it started, and you had John Harbaugh, kicker misses field goal. He no longer has a job after being in Baltimore for so many years. It's been crazy, and it seems like all across the world we have guys that were in charge that are no longer in charge. Right?
That's correct. Got a guy in Venezuela.
Had a guy
anymore.
Had a guy. Now he's just sporting tracksuits in the United States. Did you see that right there, where there was like they had him dressed and they were commenting on his Nike jumpsuit that he had on. And then people were trying to replicate and buy the outfit.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, of course, why wouldn't they? This is the land of, we're living in a simulation to begin with, I think. So, but yeah, they captured him and, he had on fresh gear. And so it kind of became a thing. And then the AI videos made. Did you see where he was on Rogan? You didn't see that one? That one's good. You're going to have to look that one up right there. Check it out. But yeah, they had, someone already went with like Sora or one of the other AI apps and had Maduro being interviewed by Joe Rogan.
That is absolutely amazing what you can do with AI now. Absolutely amazing.
And with the power of the United States military to extract a foreign leader.
Yes, indeed.
I did see a simulation of how that went down. It was like a 7-8 minute clip on YouTube of the distraction for the extraction is basically what it was called. And how they ran all this stuff and the jets flying over. And by the time everything was done and all these bombs going off and things being shot up, he was already out. They had him and his wife out. Delta Force went in, had him on the helicopter and gone. And before anybody even knew what happened.
Was that done by an operator, a YouTube channel?
Yes.
There's an operator. Okay.
Yes.
I think I might have saw something.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's pretty fascinating.
Wow. Welcome to the New Dad on the Podcast. My name is Ray. Got Parfait over there.
What's going on, everybody? Ray, doing well?
Doing very well, man. Better than Maduro.
Yes, I would say that you were doing better than him. Yeah, to say that the climate of the United States is at a very odd point would be an understatement. Real quick before we get started, guys, Thursday. Thursday is the thing that I have relied on over the last 8 months to get me back into recovery and get a good night's sleep. It doesn't have melatonin. It has everything your body needs to get back to recovery, to get a good workout in. Use the promo code NDOZZZ to get a discounted checkout. And I know we had some things going on in Louisiana where we had an ICE operation where people were being, I'm just going to say harassed, because that's the way I saw it, even locally, like in our own community, where it had some little whatever cute code name that they did for the operation in this area that the governor first, he's a Trump puppet and just wants to be told good boy by Donald Trump. And we had ICE agents all over Louisiana just racially profiling and arresting people that were flat out citizens. And it made it for a really, really weird and confusing time for myself where it's not something that I had a strong opinion of one way or another until one of the guys that I work out with on a regular basis he's Mexican, and he was scared. He was scared that his family members were going to be harassed, and they are U.S. citizens, and he's lived here his whole life. And he was just, it was a real fear that he had. And there was a lot of communication going on, not necessarily by him, but like throughout social media, where I saw posts of friends of, Mexican descent or just Latin descent, where they looked like they might have been foreign and like, hey, don't go in this area because they have ICE agents out here. And they have like little code words for what they were calling the ICE agents. And it's been a wild situation, especially what happened up in Minneapolis, and just the great social divide that we continue to have in this country. And it's depressing for me.
It's amazing. I think there's a partial sporadic look of the ICE agents come into an area and trying to maybe, rope up some people. I think there might be that assumption out there, but I do think they are running like targeted assignments going into certain places to get certain people. And I think they might, I hope it's not, well, you look like this, are you?
Yeah, but it was definitely happening. And for me, I guess, not even I guess, I know for sure. For me, getting the bad guys, no one has a problem with that. But when you get one person that is completely innocent and nothing that they did was wrong at all, it's too many.
Oh, like
it's too many.
The young lady that graduated from
LSU?
Was it LSU?
She was deported.
That's what I mean, like someone like that.
Not even, just
like that's ridiculous.
Like I said, like my friend that I work out with, who is both parents Mexican. He is Mexican, right? Mexican American. And if he is walking down the street and he gets approached by an ICE agent and they put handcuffs on him, that is one person too many to put handcuffs on, because all he is a business owner who works in honest living since the time he was a teenager and realized that I don't really want to go to school. I want to do something and work for myself. Mm-hmm. And he did that, and now he's, late 30s, and that could have been a reality for him. To me, that is too many. One person having handcuffs put on them from some type of profiling thing is just, it's too many. It's too many. It's not the country that we are supposed to live in, and we're not supposed to have a fear of whenever we see law enforcement, regardless if it's an agency or a state policeman or a local sheriff's department officer. We're not supposed to have this fear of the people who were there to serve and protect. And yet there was real fear that I would never understand because I wouldn't have been approached in that way. You would not have understood because you wouldn't have been approached in that way. But there's a certain sector of our community that was approached. And I don't know what that would feel like, but it doesn't feel like it would be a good thing.
Yeah, you're right. I think empathetically, we'll never be able to do that. But what you just said is 100% what I think sane people would think is you walking down the street and being approached by somebody with a gun because of your skin color and possibly being deported or being questioned. It's just not the American way.
No. And
like what they should be doing is investigating and then going in and getting those that are not supposed to be here, and not just randomly going out there.
No, and I think that's
what it feels like sometimes.
And I think that's the goal. And I would be willing to make an assumption that most of the time they get the right guy. We're going to hear about it because this is the news cycle that we live in. We're going to hear about it anytime that they mess up, because just that's what the media does. And I mean, it's no secret that the narratives of the media tend to sway in a certain direction, and that certain direction is going to be in a way that makes usually police officers and law enforcement look bad. That very seldom is it going to be sympathetic unless someone is killed in the line of duty. Then we have a sympathetic moment in our news cycle, and it doesn't tend to last that long. But the news cycle tends to gain more traction whenever we can whenever there is a victim because of a law enforcement. That right there is what tends to be in the news cycle a lot more, that provokes a lot of emotion, that creates a lot of divide. Not saying that it shouldn't be covered as a news story, but they know what gets clicks and what gets views, and anything that can create some type of divide, it is. And it's the same reason why it feels like there are certain people out there, in my feed at least, that are like cheering for the ICE agents. I'm like, I don't even know how to wrap my head around that, of being so proud of what they're doing. And I'm not even saying that you shouldn't be, I don't know why you should have any type of feelings one way or another, that you should be proud or that you should be upset or whatever. It's almost like, why is the news even covering what is going on? Because it's something that should be done as an operation to serve and protect. But yet it's become a news story to set one side or the other. It's just a constant provoking of emotion that doesn't seem to have an end game whatsoever. Do you think that there is an ultimate end game by the news covering these incidents?
I think the end game is, they probably want this organization, they probably want ICE iced.
Do you think they want them gone?
I think so.
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you if
I mean, like, let's look at the situation that just happened here, where we have an ICE agent.
Talking about Minneapolis, right?
Yes. That was involved in a shooting.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, with that situation, I think someone was blocking something, and they were walking around. I don't understand all the details of what exactly the ICE agents were doing, but I think they were trying to tell an American citizen in their vehicle to get out of their vehicle.
Yeah, that's what it was. I mean, that's what was said. And
I don't think, unless they were in their vehicle with a weapon or trying to assault somebody, I don't think that's something they should have been involved with at all.
Yeah. No, it's, it seems as though with the ICE agent shooting the woman, that they are trying to, I say they, collectively, like in the national media, trying to really make her seem like this ultimate victim. And not that she wasn't any type of victim. That's not what I'm saying. It seems as though they are trying to make her a poster child.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, she was a victim of an incident, but like, she was a mother. She was a poet. And trying to really tie something to humanize her, to provoke an emotion from people that will ultimately cause a divide. And like, that's what it is. The amount of posts that I've seen from one side of saying, like, if you listen to the cops, things don't happen bad. I'm like, is that the right answer? And then say, she was just exercising the right that she had to do. And I'm like, but was she? Like, she was provoking. He acted in a manner he probably shouldn't have acted. The news is telling us that we should care a lot more about her, but then if I say I don't care about her, then I'm a bad guy, because what about the kids with cancer? And I'm like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's just, everybody is, the whataboutism that happens is the thing that makes it so hard to truly understand what's going on in current situations like this. Because if someone says something, the next statement is, what about? And whenever you argue in whataboutisms, it is the lowest form of argument. There is no knowledge being spread. It is strictly, you shut up and listen to what I have to say. And then after I finish, you tell me what about, which means my cue to shut up because you have something to say. And nothing is discussed whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is the territory that we are entering in right now. Reminiscent, but yet totally different from the George Floyd situation. But like that was the national attention that came to my head whenever I heard this of provoking emotion and causing divide by the way a story is being covered, where the facts that come out are strictly interpreted in a way that makes it seem as though my argument is correct because it's my interpretation of the facts rather than just being facts.
The other part, though, Parfait, is what are the facts? Like, are ICE agents supposed to approach a vehicle like that?
Yeah, I mean,
are they supposed to do that?
Their job seems as though it would be strictly dealing with immigration matters.
Yeah, because not all ICE agents are equal.
No,
there are some that they're doing their jobs correctly, and there's some that are they're a little more egotistical.
Yeah, well, I mean, every single one of them could be awesome, but you still have a worst one at their job.
Absolutely.
It's any profession, teaching. You could have a school full of awesome teachers. There's still one that's still the worst. They may be awesome, still the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the best at another location. I also am having an issue with whenever the ICE. This is a military type operation going on domestic soil.
Wow.
And
yeah,
that is the part where it doesn't make me feel any safer, knowing that there are these ICE agents doing their job, whatever, they're following their orders. And when you follow your orders, that is a very military type term. And it just seems as though like these are military type operations carried on. They are extracting people. The military just extracted a leader of Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, I guess the quality of my life is safer because they are getting some of these people who are criminals out of the country. Like I said, when you got one wrong person, man, that's one too many for me. It just is.
Look at the situation about the shooting. It's the left pushing that agenda on trying to spotlight the person that was shot. Yeah. If this had happened when Obama was president, what do you think would have happened?
Well, I think based off of just the divide, that you're going to probably tell me something that the other side was going to point a finger and sympathize, reverse roles almost, right?
It would have been reversed because ICE is an agency that has been around since, 2003.
So 2003.
They've been around since 2003, so they've always been there.
So 23 years, we've had quite a few presidents in that time.
Right, Democratic,
from both sides,
exactly,
that have had this agency at their disposal, so to speak, to use.
So because Trump said, let's deport, so now ICE is bad.
But yeah.
Because, no. Because Trump said,
let's deport. Well, yeah, and I believe the statistics state that like Obama deported more people during his presidency than any other president prior.
As of up to this point, yes. Yeah. We'll see after.
Yeah, after now, Trump, I mean, he's putting up Hall of Fame numbers right now with that.
See. Yeah, that's my problem. Is this thing? This is more of the shooting is more of a political call out. Is more of a political thing versus we've got a problem with that agency.
So whenever this happens and you say that it's a political thing, to go somewhat tinfoil on the head, is this a distraction for something else? Because that's where my head goes. Because the Venezuelan president, whenever they got Maduro, so Maduro is a dictator. He's a bad guy, right?
Did the Trump dance?
So he
said, Trump, come get me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Provoked a crazy person and paid the price for it. And people are saying, oh, yeah, the FAFO, right? I mean, that's what happened to him. As bad of a person as what we're being told that he is, I'm not saying that he is or he isn't, regardless, but as bad of a person as what we're being told is very similar to as bad of a person as what we're being told that Vladimir Putin is as well. if we have the capabilities to do that to someone who is terrible to his people, but yet fund a war on the other side of the ocean, and we make mistakes about how many billions we actually gave Ukraine to fight, and this person is terrible to their people, known for throwing gay people off the building and stuff, right? That's like a Russian thing that goes along that we hear, and how non-accepting they are of people. Would maybe we use our military powers to get him out of office as well and make the world a better place? Perhaps there's another leader as well that is terrible to his people, but yeah, we haven't used our military powers to go in and get rid of him. I mean, are we scared because they're going to launch a nuclear bomb? That's the only reason why? I mean, I don't know, right? Obviously, I don't know. But I do know that there's a very bad man that we told runs Russia, and he's still in power, mm-hmm. still fighting a war. Mm-hmm. And we were told this is a very bad man, and it took us 7 minutes to get him and his wife into the United States.
I don't even know if they have a military in Venezuela.
They do. They have like 12 jets. Wow, seriously, it's like 20-something jets. They have, they border the coast. They do have some Russian anti-aircraft defense that, we were able to, confuse, jam up, and use planes that they wouldn't have a capability of using their anti-aircraft weapons against. This is all based off of me watching a YouTube video, so I'm very educated on the situation. But I do know that they do have something. Obviously, it's not this well-skilled and, military. But, I mean, skilled enough to where the dictator who took charge was able to take charge.
Is there something bigger going on? I think so. If we get all this information on Maduro, around ICE, there's got to be something else that's going to come up. But there is something else. There's an underlying thing that's happening.
Isn't it always money?
It's always around money.
It's oil.
Well, I know this thing.
Venezuelan government owns all the oil. They have all this stuff.
But we seized 1 billion gallons of oil from them. That's just sitting in something. We haven't used. We haven't done anything with it. I think that he's going to eventually release it. But everyone's saying it's not really about the oil or the untouched minerals and it's all the good stuff they have.
Like wars are only
300 billion barrels they can produce out of Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what the next highest is after that? I think it's either 200 or 150 billion.
And that's where they're at.
They're at 300 billion. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always about the money. Like there's only two reasons that wars are fought, right? It's money and religion.
Yes.
It's not a religion thing going on in Venezuela.
Oh, so it's a money thing.
It's a money thing. And
so the other thing that you hear there is China and Russia have been pushing in a lot of stuff. They've been pushing a lot of money to Venezuela. And instead of going in and taking the money, they're like, okay, you owe me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this oil. 70% of China's oil comes from Venezuela.
Yeah.
So Trump goes, I don't know if it's because of the tariffs. I don't know. So Trump goes, hey, taking this guy.
And we're going to cut off this supply.
What's China going to do now?
No.
That's a little scary.
No, it is.
Around like that.
It definitely is. And people cheering for the fact that he was taken, out of power there and brought to the United States. I get it. I don't know if people are genuinely emotionally attached to what was going on in Venezuela, or if this is another one of those, Trump's my guy, I'm cheering for him because what he did was the right thing to do. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying it's not the right thing to do. This is the whataboutism. But I never heard you speak about Venezuela, and now you're like bragging about how well it was done. I'm like, well, educate me on what was going on in Venezuela, because you never approached me in conversation about it now, but you're telling me how great what we did was. I'm like, okay, but this is something to do with money, right? Like that's just level with me.
Oh, yeah.
Like give me that information. Like let me know where it's coming. I don't care. I'm not cheering for one side or the other because this is not a sport. This is not a game. This is real life that affects billions of people. So educate me.
There's that. And Obama had talked about Maduro and what he was to the country, and that he was. If you look that up, he talked about him, and that something needs to be done about it. And of course, we say things on foreign nations, but we don't really back them up. Yeah. But we'll give money to anybody, obviously, right?
Yeah, we'll mistakenly give people a lot of money apparently too.
Yeah, that too. We'll do stuff like that. My biggest concern is probably a very unpopular opinion, or it could be a popular opinion.
So it's either unpopular or it could be popular.
I think it might be popular if they hear it for the woke. So this unpopular opinion is, if Trump can do this, what's he going to do in 3 years when it's time for him to give it up?
No, I mean, I'm not worried about that. Like, I think that people who are like, he's going to change the term limits and he's going to become, the no kings thing, right? Like, he's going to stay in office forever. It's not going to happen. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, I feel very safe and secure. I don't think it'll happen either. When his term is up, like, he's going to go about his way, and he's going to be done, and whatever.
I don't think it'll happen either. I'm just very surprised that the left hasn't jumped on that and haven't run to the streets talking about him and, oh, look what he did, and look what's going to happen in 3 years. I'm very surprised that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, well, I
haven't heard anybody say anything like that.
Funny footage of the left sympathizing with the Venezuelan people, and the Venezuelan people celebrating in the streets that he's no longer in charge. But yet the hate for Trump is so strong from that side that they're saying what he did was wrong. But yet, hey man, but they're like, some people are happy that this guy is going. Like, their quality of life, my quality of life did not change by them doing this. But somebody else is dead.
You got Venezuelan people that live in the United States of America are going to these different protests and saying, "Shut up."
Yeah,
our people are happy.
Yeah.
The politics is amazing, and when I say amazing, it's detrimental to if you get into politics and you try to figure this thing out, it hurts. It hurts your head because, yes, it's all around sex, money, and drugs. Sex, money, and drugs. Just like crime. It's sex, money, and drugs. Bad politics. The stuff that divides people.
Yes.
It's around, I think, those three things.
I mean, it's always money. It's always money. Everything is money driven. That's not going to change, when people's motivations are that. But the political part being the obsession it's the create the divide thing. And I think there's more money in creating divide than what there is of bringing people together. I mean, I know that my conversations with people that, like friends, that when we talk about politics, they get very frustrated with me because I don't have a definitive side, but I sometimes seem to oppose their very hard stance of their side because that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't have to agree with everything. I mean, I may lean more one way than the other, but it doesn't mean you have to agree with the other thing. And it's just like, man, you can't pick a side. I'm like, I didn't know I was supposed to. Sorry. Like, I didn't know I was supposed to. I didn't know it was part of the rules of life was to pick a side to cheer for a man that's not wearing a jersey. I didn't know that was part of it. And I'm not going to. And I'm going to try to understand things because of the fact that, like, I am a father who has a little kid who is going to get to the age where he is going to start to hear more about politics because of his friends that go to school and repeat the things that their parents say inside of their house. And he's going to come to my house and he's going to ask me a question and we're going to have a conversation about it. And we are going to try to find as many facts as we can to have an educated opinion and not regurgitate something that we heard from somebody. So I would rather sound foolish for not knowing all the facts
Mm.
than regurgitating information that someone from my side said. I would call me an idiot and let me live that life rather than be the guy who just repeats what he heard somebody else say.
The only person that I will support, well, there's only one person. There's only one person I will support blindly. That's Jesus. The only person. After that would be my wife. But there's reasons why I don't know if you do with your wife or not, but I know with my wife, we go back and forth on some things. So how can you blindly just look at President Trump and go, whatever he's doing, I support it?
Yeah.
When everything he's done should not be supported.
No,
There are things that I did not support. And I did vote for him, but there are things that he's done that I'm like, why? Why'd you do that?
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, to cover all bases, it goes for if you were on the other side as well, blindly supporting that side. The more you question, the better off you are in life. Let somebody prove that they're right to you, or let them change your opinion by the facts that they provide, rather than just assuming that what they're doing is going to be right every time. I mean, that's what we try to preach to our kids to make educated decisions based off the information that they have. Make educated decisions off the information that you have, which means question everything.
Absolutely.
Question everything.
I agree with that.
There's nothing negative that can come through with questioning everything. It doesn't mean you have to resist everything, but you can question it and then understand that the conclusion that you came to makes sense for the reasons that were laid out in front of you.
Yeah, so, I mean, the point of this was we're talking about ICE. I think ICE should stick to hitting their targets.
And they possibly are.
And not being a
But if they miss, the news
force.
is going to cover it, and that's where the issues come in. 99 things done right, one thing done wrong, and we're going to hear about it.
Load up.
And I'm okay with that, though. But I am okay with that because if that one thing done wrong affected someone who should have not have been affected, then they should be held accountable for that. These are military operations going on domestic soil, no matter how you look at it. That's a freaky thing to me.
But people are accepting it like, ooh.
They are. And a lot of people accepted a lot of things in Germany at one point in time, too.
Whoa.
You know, and they started to normalize a lot of things. And I don't think we're headed down that way by any means, but a drip becomes a leak, you know, for a reason kind of thing. And having your guard up and not being blind to your surroundings is going to work out well in life. And this is one of those situations where be aware, understand what's going on.
Question
it. Know that there has been history of things where the more you accept and normalize it, then bad things can happen. And that's the part that I don't want to see. Like, don't be okay with everything. Question it more, make sure it makes sense before you're like okay with it. That's it. That's all it is. Like that's all I want. That's all I want for everybody. Right. Obviously, we solved all the world's problems tonight, and we had definitive answers on what the government should do with every organization and with foreign leaders, right? I think we nailed it down, and if they just follow this blueprint, then the world will be a better place, and we'll have no social divide ever again in the world. So,
well, I just like the fact that we can sit down and just hash it out, even though we don't have the answer.
No, we don't. And we don't pretend to have the answer. And I'm never going to pretend to have the answer. And I'm okay with that. And I want to continue to have those conversations with people because it's thought-provoking. And if I can provoke a thought for myself or for someone else, that is a success in life and hopefully leads to everyone being smarter. And if you are smarter than us, then drop us a comment below and let us know why we are morons or what we got wrong or what we got right or what we completely misunderstood, because I'm not trying to claim to be an expert. I never will try to claim to be an expert. I am a guy who lives in this world and is trying to make sense of it. And I think that's all we are trying to do on a day-to-day basis. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop us a comment below. Also, make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Amazon as well. And until next time, we'll see you on
New Dad Order.